Hi, everybody. So for the rest of the class today and for the rest of the week and over the weekend, you are going to be playing a video game. And this video game is called Folded. And at first it feels just like a video game, but then you're going to learn really quickly that there's a huge community around this. And the game is really designed to help leverage the collective intelligence of everybody out there, specifically people that are good with visuospatial thinking, to solve this protein folding problem, right? And to remind you, the protein folding problem is just this idea that this string of codons codes for amino acids, right? And we know that, we have that mapped. But how those amino acids fold from primary to secondary to tertiary and even quaternary structures is what affects their function, right? So predicting that folding is often very complex. But if we can predict it using AI or even using our own collective curated intelligences, we can solve lots of problems. And that's what this game is really for. It's going to teach you the science of protein folding, looking primarily at the tertiary structure of proteins. And then it's going to provide the opportunity for you to play other challenges if you like. One of them specifically is going to be to design proteins to block ACE2 or the spike protein. And you'll discover that as you move on through this. But first things first, let's get you downloaded and give you an introduction to what you're going to be doing over the next week. So you're going to go to fold.it, and you're going to click here. See, it says click to learn how to contribute and play. Okay, and I'd like you just to read this whole thing. Again, it's going to talk about what is protein folding. You're familiar with a lot of that. Some protein examples, why this game is important. So that's really important there. And then up here, it's going to say, are you new to Foldit? I want you to click on that. Okay, and it's going to walk you through how to download this for Windows or for Mac, or if you're running a Linux system. Okay, and it's going to talk about a lot of things right here. So there's a lot of different games you can play, but the one that we're going to be focusing in is the intro puzzles, and we're going to see how far you can get through in these intro puzzles, right? And that's going to be the challenge, and we're going to talk about that next Monday. Remember, we don't have class this Friday the 24th. Okay, so carefully read through this, and it's going to talk about where those puzzle menus are. There's a lot of other things. There's COVID puzzles, and there's various contests that millions of people are actually playing. You do not have the knowledge yet, no offense, to go into the science puzzles. We got to do the intro puzzles first. Okay, so once you download it and load it, I want you to keep it down here in your dock if you're on a Mac, or create a shortcut to it on your desktop if you're on a PC. This is a computer game, so you cannot play it on your iPad or your phone. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and give you a brief introduction to what you're going to be doing. So you're going to have to make an ID so you can contact this server, and that's really exciting because the work you're doing is part of a larger construct. There are actually people that are having their proteins synthesized right now. So you're going to hear a lot of noise in the background. You can lower that, okay? And you're going to hit play, okay? You're going to have to make a passcode, and you're going to log on using create an account here. So we're going to log in. Okay, and you're going to be doing the intro puzzles. Okay, and as you solve the puzzles, you see I've solved these ones here. They're going to get colored in, and your goal is to see how far you can get. There's puzzles that have to do with the amino acid side chains, backbone packing, hydrogen bonding, which is really essential to creating that secondary structure, hydrophobics and hydrophilics, different tools, sequences, conditions. So lots of different things. And your goal is to really see how far you can get through this. So I'm going to start from the beginning here, just to show you an idea of what's happening. Okay, so you look here, and down here at the bottom you see menu, right? So this is where you can go back to your puzzle menu. It's got these modes. Ignore these for right now, but what I don't want you to ignore are these little cues, because this is where the game is going to teach you more about secondary structure. So what you're looking at here is the very first puzzle. This is a clash puzzle, and you see here two protein side chains. So think of this as the protein itself, and these are some side chains right here. this might be, it looks a lot like a phenylalanine or a tyrosine R group, and this here looks like it could be a alanine R group. And then you have these little friends hanging out, and these little friends are, you can think of them as part of the game. These are things that you're trying to get rid of, and getting rid of them signifies protein folding. Okay, so it says here, it looks like you've already, well, whatever. I'm not going to hide this. So, welcome to Foldit. Okay, you can drag sidechains with the mouse. So, showing me that I can drag these things around like this. Okay. Clashes are bad in proteins. Okay, thanks. Get rid of the clash to win the level. So I'm going to drag this sidechain around, and I got rid of the clash to win the level. Okay, and you see that because my score here is higher than that. So then I'm going to collect here to move on to the next puzzle. Okay, so now you see I have a larger protein going on here, and you see these alpha helices here. And then we have all these R group side chains hanging off here. We might have an alanine, a glycine, looks like a lot of alanine, serines. So these are the alpha helices, the secondary structure, and this whole thing is folded into a quaternary structure. So we have these R group side chains, we have the secondary structure, how they pack with respect to the neighboring proteins, and then we have the R groups hanging up. So this is the backbone of the protein. So you want to read this out. This is teaching you as you go through this. Sometimes the backbone is too close together. Click and drag the backbone to pull it apart. Okay, so I still didn't get rid of that. So there. So now I folded that protein nicely. So then I'm going to go to the next level here. Okay. Click and drag the white background to rotate your view. So it's showing that I can do that. Okay, that's nice. I can rotate my view. You can still drag sidechains with the mouse. Okay. Look at, I got rid of that clash. Yay! So I cleared that level. We'll get to the next puzzle. Okay, so now we have a larger protein here. Now notice here we have some phenylalanines, some arginines. This is the tertiary structure here. I've earned the shake tool. You can use the shake tool to fix clashes too. Okay, so when you think shake has done a good enough job, you can press it again to stop. So let's try it. So I hit shake. And it's shaking this protein, and I'm going to hit stop, and it did it on its own. So it allows the protein to kind of jiggle. And notice my score again here is higher than that score. And it's good for you just to watch me playing this right now because you're going to go through it. Now I have a larger one. Okay. Other times the backbone is too far apart. Voids are indicators that there are empty space. So here's a void. Try getting rid of some of the voids by dragging the backbone together. And I did it. So I passed that level. Next is wiggle. Okay. So again, look at all these R group side chains in the protein. The shape that depicts its function. We have mainly alpha helices, some beta pleats in here. Okay. You now have access to a very powerful tool, the wiggle tool. Okay. Just like shake tries to take care of side chains, wiggle tries to improve the backbone. Wiggle gets stuck if it cannot increase the score. Click the button again to stop the tool. So I'm going to try and wiggle. So it's causing the protein to wiggle, and you see my score going up a little bit. It's wiggling around. Can wiggle solve it on its own? It's getting close. Yeah. So wiggle did it on its own. So sometimes the wiggle or the shake tool will help get rid of bad side chains or help let the protein conform into this. And this is the essence of the protein problem. So as you go through all of these folding techniques and challenges, it's going to take you a while. I would sit down and play for an hour here, an hour there, and notice that as you go through, it's going to be pushing out to you hints and tools. And those are things that I'm really going to have you keep track of. I'm going to have you reflect on them. Look at, we have this larger protein here right now. And look at, we have some beta pleats show up. Remember, beta pleat is a type of secondary structure. First, try dragging the sheet closer to the other. Okay, I did that. And this is going to try and get you to form hydrogen bonds. Once you've dragged the side chains closer, press wiggle. And you just see the scores going up. Can I get it? And you see those hydrogen bonds forming in between there. It's raising, it's raising, it's raising. So wiggle didn't get me far enough, but I still have those hydrogen bonds created. Remember, those hydrogen bonds are those interactions between atoms that are going to be holding the protein together. So as you go through this, I want you to keep track of your notes, play it for a few hours, and let's see who can get the farthest. Take care.